It's fun to be here. The season's gone fast. It's amazing that everybody's getting ready to gear up for spring and baseball, and we just finished our regular season. So had tremendous fan support at home this year at Goodman Diamond. It was really fun to see how packed it was, and the team played extremely well at home, but we're excited to get back on the road. It's kind of our norm when 40 of your 50 or so games are on the road. It's actually a little easier to get back on the road and get back to the norm of checking into a hotel, being road warriors, and seeing what we can do in Indiana.
Take questions. Coach Healy. Todd's right here. We have Mike. Yep.
Nancy and everything. Is there an advantage in playing the first game of the day, in knowing that you're playing that Thursday, and if you win Friday, that you're not going to be waiting around for previous games or rain or whatever could back you up and kind of cloud players' minds?
Absolutely. I'm excited to have the first game of the day. I think, we know from flying out of Madison and Milwaukee all winter long that flights get delayed later in the day, and tournaments are exactly the same thing. If you've got the first game of the day, you're going to start on time. We're a team that really likes that schedule, so we know how to get up and watch our film and get breakfast, and some of us will get some runs in the morning for good luck. And but if I could write it up, that's exactly how I would actually pencil it in.
Questions? Todd?
How do you prepare yourself knowing that you want to play 4 games? You have to focus on the first one, but managing pitchers and everything that you want to do with your lineup, how do you go into the weekend kind of big picture-wise that way?
Well, I think you've got to look ahead as coaches and try to keep the team focused one game at a time. So we're prepping. I mean, Iowa has been giving some different looks with their pitching as of late. So they look different in how they're managing, who's throwing for them. So that'll be a little different for us. But we faced Ohio State 2 years ago in the Big Ten tournament. We've faced them also last year at their place, and so you can't help but look at how it could play out too. So we'll start prepping already. We're putting all the emphasis on Iowa with the team, but from a coach's standpoint, everybody's prepping behind the scenes, and it's kind of fun. There was a great series against Iowa and Michigan just about a week ago, so what a great one to kind of watch as you're prepping up to.
Andy?
Yvette, I know you're taking this one game, one inning at a time, that type of thing, but to what degree are you sweating beyond that, the NCAA tournament?
If anything that we've learned since being here, which I'm so grateful for 9 seasons at Wisconsin, and when you're in a position right now that the team started this season wanting to be the first team to ever go to back-to-back-to-back regionals. So we've done it, 2 times in a row, but to have a chance to do three years in a row is a big deal. But I love the position we're in. I think from an experience standpoint, the last few seasons, we've looked at this Big Ten tournament of how do we use it to get into the postseason. How many games do we have to win? Who can you beat? Do you need to make a run to be postseason eligible? And we're taking a whole new glance at it this year, that it's really about winning this tournament. And I love where we're at as a team. I think we've put together a great body of work through this season. So now, instead of getting all worried about, who you're matching up with and how do you do, it's about, being here for 4 days and winning games and winning this tournament. And I think there's a whole new level of determination that this weekend isn't prep for next weekend. It's about this weekend.
Brian?
Yvette, can you quantify how important Kayla Cottonwood has been to your squad this year?
I cannot. No. Kayla Cottonwood, what a special kid. It's so fun to see some of the attention that she's getting. There's a big BTN feature coming out on her, and the more you get to know that kid, the more you will love her, that she is tremendously talented, but just a great human being. So it's been so fun to coach her, and I can't tell you how much of a better coach she's made me this year. I haven't had a player with that level of talent ever, and I've been around some really great ones as an assistant, as a player myself, and as a head coach. And when you figure out how teams strategize against her, you get better at managing those elite Big Ten Player of the Year type kids. And you really need to have one sitting next to you to understand what makes her tick, what's hard for her, what's easy. And she's been just a tremendous teacher in our film sessions. She's willing to share information. So I'm having fun coaching her and just trying to figure out, not just how do you manage those great players, but now how do you coach against them most effectively. So if we make a run in the tournament and are able to really shut down some great hitters from other teams, which we are bound to face, a lot of it's going to have to do with those conversations Kayla's been having with the staff and helping us understand how to do that better.
A follow-up, how has she made her teammates better?
Well, you look at the season that Taylor Johnson's having right next to her in the lineup, and Taylor should be Kayla's best friend. Seeing those two, that 1-2 punch, but so that one's the obvious one. When you're a big hitter, people are going to get pitches who are hitting behind you, and Taylor's really made the most of it. And she's, she pounds the ball from behind Kayla, so if they walk her, it's no easy task. But really, other people, she just makes them comfortable. Sometimes really talented kids are stressed out and they're angry when it's rough, and they wear their emotions. And Kayla is just good vibes as far as it can go. That she's a happy kid. She doesn't get too hyped in the big moments. She doesn't get too down when she doesn't come through. And that makes people better because they see what it takes to perform at a really elite level for an extended amount of time.
Todd?
You mentioned earlier this year how nice it was to see the contributions from players from Wisconsin. Can you go into that? Are we in a really good time for Wisconsin softball at younger ages, or is there something behind that has created that leading up to when they get here?
Sure. Well, the biggest thing for me as a coach coming to Wisconsin was to learn from some other great coaches. And Coach Alvarez right out of the gate talked about developing players in state, getting to know some of the great coaches at the high school level, and finding those players and bringing them in. And so we made that a priority, but it doesn't always happen overnight. You can go after your in-state kids, but we've had some great talent going to other places. And to be able to lock down some great talent is a good thing. There's really good Wisconsin players playing all over the country now, though. I think more so than ever. So for me, I'm just as proud to watch players, even if we didn't get them, perform at other schools because they're representing the state. And that's a big deal for softball here. You look at Nicole Newman at Drake and the year that she is having. And, unfortunate for us that we couldn't lock her down, but awesome for that kid, that program, and our state. And Kayla Cottonwood, Steph Lombardo, doing great things. You've got Lauren Foster on the left side of the infield, right next to Jordan Little, another Wisconsin kid. Center field, Allie Miklish. And when you've got Haley Hestikin on the mound, it's pretty cool to look around and see what's happening with softball in the state, and I'm really proud. I'm from Chicago, so it's not too far away, but that Midwest pride to see some great cold weather kids do it on a national stage where it's all about the SEC and the Pac-12 when people think softball, it's fun to see the Midwest. We've got great talent. We've got kids that are really athletic and driven. They can't play outside all year long, but we're trying to really level the playing field, and I'm proud to be one of the schools that's doing it.
Andy?
Yvette, going back to Kayla, how much thought goes into where you put her in the lineup? I understand why you'd put her in the leadoff spot. You get more opportunities, more at bats. But how deeply did you go into deciding where you're going to put her in terms of the batting order?
Oh, sure. I mean, quite a bit. You can, obviously Kayla's a prototypical 3 or 4 in the lineup. You'd love to have her just banging in runs. We graduated Kelsey Jenkins last year, who was one of the best leadoff hitters we ever had, and boy, would it have been fun to see those two on the field together. But for Kayla, she runs well. So she's a power kid, and she can put it over the fence. But you want to get the at-bats for her, and she gets walked. And so, if you put her in the 3 spot, it's kind of easy just to, with 2 outs, put her on all the time. And so our goal is to put pressure on the other team and make them uncomfortable, and she does that quite a bit. And so when you start off an inning, you're making them make some tough decisions. If the back side of our lineup gets on, so if you get Allie Miklish in the 9 spot, turn it over. Every time she comes up, it's really exciting that something big could happen.